And then there's Ivanette. Ivanette is married to Lavin. She was charged with tampering with a victim, which is a life felony.
Well, howdy y'all, Unky T here. Now, as I advertised yesterday, this here's the second half of that video I put out yesterday of all them fine, upstanding Florida citizens. Don't be bad for Florida, because you know y'all got them everywhere in the world. So these are just our personal examples. One thing before we get going though, I'd like to mention is that if y'all could just please go down and hit that subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, because I'm getting about 98.6% of the people watching my videos are not subscribed, and that just don't seem right, does it? I mean, it's only fair you're going to watch. You could at least please hit the subscribe, and that way you get notified whenever I put a new video out, and you can make sure to stay on top of all this. And you know what? By golly, while you're down there, you might just as well hit that like thumbs up thingy. Anyways, here y'all go. Enjoy the rest.
And contributing to the dependency of a victim, and she was arrested. And they let her bond out of jail. That's right. Well, we had other charges pending, and we went back yesterday and rearrested her for accessory after the fact. She only cared for Lavin. She didn't care for this child that they gained access to at all. In fact, she pressed that child that they had access to, that they gained access to, and groomed them and coached this baby never to say a word. Did you hear that? Did you hear what she did to protect him? To allow this environment to continue to go on? We found the child. The child is an emotional wreck, was not going to talk at all, but made some statements and admissions to us, and with the appropriate care will talk to us again later. The child was totally devastated. So during all of this, we ran into Sharon Speller. Now, many people from Winter Haven should recognize Sharon Speller. You see, she owned a daycare where about 40 children attended, called Kids Clubhouse Learning Center. Now, parents, I want to have a news flash here. The 40 of you that were taking your child to the Kids Clubhouse Learning Center on Cypress Gardens Road to the daycare, you were taking them to an unlicensed daycare center. She didn't have the authority to run a daycare center. She didn't have a license to run a daycare center, but you were taking your children there. Well, that's where we located one of our victims. And when we located Mom went with the detectives to pick up the victim. And guess what? We told Shannon Speller, there is a criminal investigation underway. Do not say anything to anybody. But she did. She not only ran an illegal center, but as soon as we left, she started telling those she knew, which got back to the principles of this investigation. And guess what? As a result of that, David Lavin ran and hid when the word got back to him, because the owner of the daycare center where one of the victims attended put the word out so David would hear it. She went to jail. DCF and the sheriff's office has shut down her illegal business. Now, I want to underscore at this early stage of the investigation, we have no information, zero, that any of the other children were sexually abused. But if I was a parent, I'd be asking questions of my child. I would be concerned. And parents, let me give you just like a piece of free advice here. Do you not check out and ensure that the daycare centers watching your babies are licensed, are certified, are trained, are legal? If you don't, I would suggest you start doing that, because you put your children in the hands of somebody who was willing to tell the suspects that an investigation was underway. We got pages of stuff here, and I'm trying to decide what I can say. So when we were talking to our one victim, our little girl, she said, if I talk, I won't get the cell phone they promised me. They programmed this child not to talk. Our heart breaks for these babies and these children. But once again, I'm going to introduce to you the subject matter expert, Dr. Marianne Thomas, for her to make statements about the hope and the opportunity and the way that we can rescue children and what we can do and how we as a community have to work together to stop this in its track. How the internet companies, the big players in this, have got to sit down in the boardrooms and say, this could be your child or my child, your infant or my infant. And why we sit here and make a lot of money, and I don't begrudge them making money, we've got a moral and ethical obligation, if not a legal one, to stop people from transmitting sex porn of babies.
Yeah, if I might interject one more time like I did yesterday and said, this ain't about the money, they're willing to risk getting sued into submission and oblivion. They don't care about the money. What they care about is a narrative, and a narrative is that of communism and evil. They will filter out anything that has anything to do with good or the truth, and they will allow garbage like this to go unabated. So that is the purpose of the social media companies. It isn't for you. Just my thoughts.
Of babies, of infants across our systems. They could do that, ladies and gentlemen. But there's no critical mass out here on social media that's turned on the giants in the industry saying, stop it. Stop it. There's algorithms in all of this child porn. They can stop it. But they won't. You need to ask them why. Dr. Thomas.
My line of work. I am Dr. Marianne Thomas, and I work for One More Child in their anti-trafficking department. And what we do is we provide services to boys and girls as young as 10 years old who have been trafficked. Unfortunately, what you've heard about today is not new. It's not new to us. It is something that we hear every day. What we know is that 70% of child sex trafficking happens online. That's scary as a parent. The number one way parents can prevent this is to know what your children are doing online, to make sure that you have access to all of their social media, even if it means they don't like you when you ask. Check their passwords, log into their things, see what they are doing, see who is talking to them. You heard the sheriff talk about grooming a few times, and that is how this happens. The movie Taken is great, it's very entertaining, but that is a very small percentage of human sex trafficking victims. Most of them are trafficked by someone who gets to know them, who is familiar to them. It has to be somebody who has access to your child. And the number one way right now is through their social media. through their video games, through those chat rooms. They groom your child. They get to know your child. They talk to them in kind ways. It's not mean. It's, hey, you're a really nice kid. You seem to have a lot of smarts. You have a lot going on. And it starts with something that seems very simple. A picture of just your face. That's easy. Most people wouldn't think twice about sending that. And it's a gradual pushing of your boundaries until you are doing things you never thought you would do. And for very young kids, and we do know that that they are 20% of children under 18 that are trafficked, 20% are under the age of 8. That's a lot, and that's very young. And you have to think a lot of very little kids wouldn't think twice about taking a picture and sending it somewhere. Once you've sent one picture, it's easier to send the next. Once you've been enticed with a cell phone or with lives on a video game, it's easier to do the next thing. And that is what a trafficker does, is they push those boundaries until you no longer have any. We are recovering victims. And once we are found, then what happens next is we provide great services for them. We provide counseling for children who have been found. We provide mentorship. People like me who have come through that life, who understand what it is like to live that life, and are able to walk alongside boys and girls and say, this doesn't have to be your future. Just because something bad happened to you, it does not have to define who you are. Thank you all so much for allowing me to speak about what is really near and dear to my heart. And I hope that you will take this and share this information so that we can put an end to this. Thank you.
We'll entertain questions, and depending on what they are, we may answer them or we may not. So,
Dr. Thomas, how savable are the kids? How healable are they when they've gone through such trauma?
Well, I'm standing here, so I guess it's okay. But it takes a lot of work, right? First, it takes somebody who's going to recognize us and someone who's going to say that we are worthy of help. Often we get shoved aside and we get put into a system that doesn't have a lot of answers. So finding the right care is important. And then it takes counseling, and it takes support, and it takes a community who's going to love that child through a lot of hard times, because they're not just going to say, gee, thank you for rescuing me, and now life is better. There's going to be a lot of pushback and a lot of hard times ahead, and so consistency is what's very important in helping a child get through this.
Well, there you go, my friends. Surely food for thought. You know, no need to elaborate on any of that. I think it's pretty self-evident what's going on in this world. Satan taking over, kind of obvious. It's accelerating at a rapid clip, and that's a good thing, I guess, in the long run, considering that brings us closer to the end times. It's just my opinion, but I think the Bible backs me up on that. So anyway, like I said before at the beginning of this thing, if y'all could please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, you know, because once you ring that bell, every time I put a video out, you will get notified, and that way you won't miss out on anything coming up of, you know, some of the fine, outstanding citizens showing their best out here in Florida. But, you know, there's not always stories like that neither, you know. Like I said before, I got videos on cooking, I got stuff about what roads to ride your motorcycles on down here, and kayaking and all that kind of stuff. You know, swimming with the manatees and going scalloping. And, well, you just about name it. I do a bunch of stuff on just about anything down here in Florida. So, you know, you'll probably find something you might be interested in at some point in time. So please subscribe, like, and for gosh sakes, please share this videos. You know, when you share the videos, it helps to maybe make me grow a little bit more, because quite frankly, I've been doing this for about a year, and I understand that, you know, I don't have the most lovable topics and stuff out there, but by golly, you know, I'm all the way up to about $1 a month income, so, you know, it's hardly worth it. It's not for the money I'm doing it, obviously, but it wouldn't hurt to have some, because, you know, I don't want your money. I want YouTube's money, because they're a communist bunch of crap, so I'll take their commie money. But anyways, I'm getting a little bitter, a little bit of reality kicking in on me, so I've just let it go from there. It takes time to do all this stuff, and you know, $1 a month wages ain't that good. I don't care where you're living. I gotta move to China so I can get me a better income. Anyways, that's enough said on that. I hope you all have a blessed day. You take care of yourselves, you take care of each other, and we'll see you real soon. Bye for now, and God bless. Quick note for y'all. There were more questions asked, but they were unintelligible. I couldn't even hear them full volume as far as I can crank it, so didn't leave any context for the answers. So anyways, that's all I got on this one.